Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? Well, as you can look at this title card right here, this is going to be I don't even know what to say about this episode though. It might be uneasy to some people, it may not be. Who knows though? But we're going to get started with this. We're going to be talking about sexuality. And it's not going to be this graphic, all in detail things what you might think it's going to be. We're going to approach this something differently. I was going to talk about one topic, and while I was doing research, I ended up going into a rabbit hole about this. So it ended up being something completely, well, I won't say completely different though, but it ended up adding layers. So without further ado, we're going to get started with this, okay? Let me just go and enlarge this, shall we? Yeah, as you see the title, Sexuality, Love, Labels, and a Little Confusion. So, first and foremost, we're going to tackle uh, asexual. Okay, check this out. Asexual. Asexuality or ace, I never heard of it referred to as ace, is a sexual orientation characterized by a persistent, low, or absent level of sexual attraction to others. It is a broad spectrum, including those who experience no attraction, rarely experience it, or only with a strong emotional bond. Demisexual, which we will get to later on. Asexual individuals may still form romantic relationships, have varied libidos, and are distinct from, but not in conflict with, biological, emotional, or romantic factors. Hmm. So that's pretty interesting right there. Asexual though. Uh, Here's a video I want y'all to watch concerning asexuality. Let's just listen to it.
Okay, so that opens up kind of like a side quest here. So we'll take that side
Yeah.
quest
Okay.
for a
Yeah.
moment because I'm thinking about asexual people.
Mm-hmm.
And forgive my ignorance if I, my understanding of being asexual isn't that you're completely void of
Mm-hmm.
any arousal,
Mm-hmm.
but it may just be very different from people who, homosexual, heterosexual,
Mm-hmm.
etc.
Yeah.
Have you had any experience with asexual
Mm-hmm.
people in your work?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And so, I think an important part of this is asexuality is an identity. So it's something that a person may identify with and for themselves, not that a partner puts that on them. Sometimes I see when I'm working with a couple with a sexual desire discrepancy, the partner with lower desire may be wondering about whether they're asexual. And sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. All right. So part of it is a personal exploration around one's own sexuality to discover whether identifying as asexual resonates for them or not. And what that identity encompasses is, I think it's broad. So for some people, what that means is that sex is not salient, that it just doesn't feel important, right? That's pretty common with asexuality, is it's just not that important. Doesn't mean that a person who's asexual can't feel pleasure, though. That it's more about, it just is, there's so many things in life that actually are important and meaningful, and they could be in a loving, connecting relationship with another person and connect with them in a multitude of ways and don't need sex as a way to feel emotionally connected and to feel like they have that special connection with their person. So, but a person who's asexual may feel pleasure, may not feel pleasure. Also, people who are not asexual may not be connected to pleasure, still aren't asexual, but aren't feeling pleasure perhaps because they're in anxiety. And so when we're in fear, we're less likely to feel pleasure. Right? There could be physiological reasons too that we're less likely to feel pleasure. So yeah, it's complex question.
Well, sir. Well, you know what, though? I I know me. Okay. I don't know if I could go without a sexual desire. You know, what are your thoughts on that, though? Do sometimes you think you may be asexual? I definitely don't feel that way. I could tell you that off the top. I do not feel that way. But how do you feel about that? We're going to move on to the next one. Demisexual. What we just mentioned earlier. And we're going to read this together. Demisexual. Demisexuality is a sexual orientation on the asexual spectrum where a person feels sexual attraction only after forming a strong emotional bond. It is characterized by a connection first approach, meaning they generally do not experience primary sexual attraction based on physical appearance or first encounters. Interesting, right there. And how many of y'all ever experienced that type of, I guess, attraction? The person could be a 10. How we rate people a 10 or whatever, but they just don't click to you until you form that emotional bond. Well, guess what? Got a video. Check it out.
A lot of people experience like sexual attraction off the bat, right? They can be sexually attracted to someone walking through a room. I can acknowledge that men are attractive men, but there is absolutely nothing within me that feels any type of sexual desire or arousal for them in any way, right? That only comes after I have developed an emotional connection to them based on who they are and their character.
Okay.
So for example, I've never had a one night stand. I've never met someone in a club and, kissed a random person. My girlfriends will see a guy and be like, oh, he can get some. I'm like, no one can ever get anything unless I know them.
We have to have 3 months of long conversation first.
Literally.
Demisexuality is when someone only feels sexual attraction after forming a deep emotional bond. Unlike others with sexual orientation based on instant attraction, which is often called allosexuality, a demisexual person needs a connection rooted in someone's character and values. You might even be demisexual without realizing it, and knowing your orientation can be powerful. It helps you understand your own needs, set healthy boundaries, and feel validated in how you experience attraction.
Well, that was interesting right there. How do y'all feel about that? About demisexuality? Do you feel that some of this may apply to you? Let us know in the comment section. And the last one is sapiosexual. A sapiosexual. Let's read this together. Sapiosexuality describes sexual or romantic attraction primarily to high intelligence or intellectual connection, often regarded as a preference or by some a sexual orientation. It suggests that a partner's wit, wisdom, or intellectual capability is the most important factor in attraction. Sapiosexuals often prefer deep, complex conversations over traditional physical intimacy. You know what though? Now, we might be on to something about this though. Because again, for me, a a woman could look great. She could be fantastic at all the right parts in the right places. And dare I say they the right size and everything though. But what comes out her mouth is also very important. I mean, you got to have the personality. You have to be tolerable. But definitely, are you privy to world events, especially these days? Uh, what do you think about social issues? How is your intellect? Because there was once a time a woman that had a crush on me, and she was a attractive woman in her own right, but intellect wise, it was a no go. And I feel bad even describing that like I'm some big genius or something, because I'm not though. But we just weren't on the same level though. Feel bad about it. Nice woman, good woman though. But I want someone I could just have, I can converse with, talk about the issues though. But here's some spoken word concerning sapiosexuality.
It's called sapiosexual, right? It goes, sapiosexuality is a mentality that most people fail to see or think about. I'm attracted to what you think about. Tell me what you dream about if we spend some time. It's always those deep thoughts that stimulate my mind. I like mental intercourse, but of course, if you stimulate the mind and the body is yours, it's yours. She won't have to tell you it's yours, because if you stimulate the mind, you know the body is yours. And if you penetrate my mind and my attention is yours. Intellectual conversation supersedes intercourse, but of course, you gotta have some type of ambition to keep my attention mixed with some interesting conversation about your plans to change this nation, or about that one feeling you like to feel when you in a relationship. See, getting someone's attention in a society where everybody has ADHD is easy, but believe me, the ability to make that attraction last, that's the real task. So you can shake your ass and I'm probably gonna look, but I'm more interested in what you read about in your last book, because what you got inside your mind can't be took for granted. So give it all to me mentally till you stimulate me physically. The ability to make that type of mental delivery is truly a gift, and I gladly accept.
Okay, sister, I hear you. And uh that's something to kind of ponder on though. It's We hear people say, well, I'm attracted to the intellect though. But I have to ask a question. Well, if that person hits all cylinders, personality wise, intellectual wise, conversation wise, but what if let's just go there, you're not physically attracted to that person? What happens? What happens next? Do you still proceed? I don't know. But I know intellect is very important to me. Intellect is highly important to me. I have to be honest. You don't have to be a super genius. You don't have to graduate from a top school, a HBC, you or what have you, but let's be able to converse about the issues, about what's going on in this wacky world of ours, though. So, let me know in the comment section, how important is intellect to you in a relationship? Let us know in the chat section. And you know what, people? That's it right there. So tell me what you think about these about sexuality, love labels, and a little confusion. Let us know in the comment section. How does this apply to you, if it applies at all? Okay, well, and that's it. I'm done. So until next time, so long and take care of yourselves. Be good. And don't take any wooden nickels. So long, everybody.